Good evening, everybody. Nice to be here. I think I'm the last voice you're going to hear at this conference. No pressure, it's good. And what a conference this has been. A lot of new ideas, a lot of new things that we found out, a lot of old things put in a new manner. And basically there are two of these things that I have taken with me since the keynote speech this morning. Before telling you which are those, Before telling you which are those two things, I want to make a small confession. Just before we started the presentation, we reorganized the slides. And we did that, but I really need to make this work. Where do we point? Okay, this is the slide I wanted to start at. I wanted to have this behind me when we say that at Capgemini we see things differently. And why do I say that? Because I want to reference the slides you've seen so far. Slides with a lot of text, a lot of content. Maybe most of you didn't even bother reading to all of this. And we all know that's not the way you should do slides, especially at a conference. So it takes a lot of courage to come here and present those slides. And why did we do it? Because courage is the first thing that was raised in the keynote speech this morning. The second thing was passion. Because we're passionate, because we have a lot of content, and what you saw up until now is just a very, very small part of all the things that we put together and wanted to present to you. Other than that, moving on to the next slide, is not just the two of us that have a lot of passion, there's 200,000 of us that had a lot of passion. So up until now, we have courage, we have passion, but still there's one thing missing. And before going to that one missing thing, I'm going to ask you a question. Did it ever happen to you to go to a conference or to see a presentation on YouTube or any other place where you saw a new technical solution, something literally mind-blowing, something amazing, and you were thinking, wow, I didn't even imagine they can do that. And 30 seconds later, you wonder, what is it good for? What does it do for us? And this is actually the direction where Victor was pointing me right now, in actually giving you a sample of the magic wand that was discussed earlier. A sample of the implementation that actually helped us help a client beyond the reach of our natural capabilities. And I know I started way after we were supposed to be finished, so I'm going to go very quickly to those slides. Basically, one of our partners, Druid Software, developed a chatbot that we are currently working together, and we're implementing it together for our clients. And it's the basic architecture, exactly what Victor said. It can be accessible through cell phone, it can be accessible to desktop, laptop, everything else. It integrates directly with your CRM, ERP, or any other system. It works with APIs, it works with REST. It can work even with RPA and with the UiPath connectors. So basically the whole technology that you already know that was already presented today. You can see it has a simple and intuitive conversational interface. It actually even pulls data and presents it in front of you so that you select what you have to do. It has a robust and flexible architecture. You can communicate with it through Skype, to Slack, to Facebook Messenger, even through browser, so it can be accessible and usable to you at any point, at any place. And of course, there are already pre-built, if you want, vertical solutions on this chatbot, serving a lot of types of roles, supply chain, business partners, employees, FAQs, many, many others. Again, time is not our friend right now, so I will not spend too much time on this because I wanted to get here. The client situation, or actually the use case that we want to present to you. And here I need to give you just a little bit of context. I'm coming from a business consulting background. Currently, I'm the head of Digital Innovation and Transformation in Capgemini, but I'm coming from consulting. So this was one of the latest consulting projects where a company, one of our clients, which grew exponentially in the last year, became unable to handle the growth, to handle the increase of FTEs. They have over 100 projects ongoing, a lot of project managers, and to some extent, maybe they lost a little bit control of the organization. So they called us in, and we did what every consultant does. We were a team of consultants, actually, We did the proper analysis, we came up with a set of solutions, we moved into implementations, we completely revamped the entire procedural framework around their IT governance and project management and all of that. We defined and designed and implemented new processes, and we did our job to some point. The point where some of the things, such as the client's expectations that timesheets should be recorded in 2 or 3 different tools, together with ticketing tools, together with client-side and provider-side tools were being used, was becoming an issue, was becoming a nuisance, and we couldn't handle that from a business perspective. They also had the problem that they were using a lot of external contractors, which did not have access into their internal network. So whatever they wanted to do, they couldn't actually access and use the network and the timesheet tools and the ticketing tools and everything like their own employees. So at the end of the month, they were facing massive issues in consolidating all the information, building the invoices, reporting on projects, reporting on teams, reporting on everything that they were doing. And then it hit us. We can use Druid for that. A simple chatbot in the cloud where everybody has access to it, everybody can communicate with it regardless whether you are at home, at office, at the doctor's office, or in vacation. A chatbot that is simple, intuitive, it actually reminds you every day, hey, you didn't do your timesheet for the day. Please, take 2 minutes. Here are the projects you are working on. You didn't even need to know what you're working on. Here's a list of your projects. Just click on the one that you worked on today, and you're done. And the chatbot took this information and sent it into 2 different instances of Jira, a EPM, sometimes even in some Excels that were the tools used by each of the client in its own way to collect the information. Even better, if at some point you wanted to take a vacation and you could have inquired the internal HR system through the chatbot, and when the vacation was approved, again, being informed through the chatbot, it automatically posted your vacation time into your timesheet, so you didn't even have to bother in doing so. So basically, I know this sounds like a very, very small step, but this, in the end, achieved a massive reduction in the effort at the end of the month for the company to provide reports, to consolidate, to close the month, to send the invoice, to have lower and lower cash flow delays. And this is just the first step in what a chatbot, an action bot, could do. It's easy, it's intuitive, it's everywhere with you, and you can always talk to it, like our partners like to call it, as your little personal assistant. The personal assistant that you have in your pocket and does everything for you, of course, with your input. So in this sense, I think I will close here with the following idea. We had a lot of discussions today about innovation and what innovation means. And basically, from my past, there was always this triangle of entities, if you want. There was always, when we were developing any sort of a project, there was always the client who was requesting. There was always the sales team and the business analysts that were saying, yeah, of course we can do it. And on the third corner were the developers, who are usually, oh my God, I cannot believe you said we can do that. But history teaches us that in the end, everything is possible. Sooner or later, easier or harder, everything is possible. So the innovation that we're talking about right now is not thinking of what we can do, is taking everything that we can do and that we will be able to do and think about where we can apply it. And in this sense, we are the innovators as service providers, as service integrators, and you, everybody in this room, can be an innovator by giving us food for thought and helping us, like we did in this use case, to achieve from the smallest improvement to, I don't know, wherever those solutions will take us in the future. Thank you very much and have a wonderful evening.